Let me just try to summarize again briefly what I just said. Unfortunately, I started presenting without recording for this session. Okay, so like I said before, in the crypto space, you have two categories of persons. You have those who refer to as investors and have those who refer to as traders. So you need to know which of them you actually represent. Which of these categories do you belong? Are you an investor or you are a trader? Now, what's the difference, first of all? The difference is simple. A cryptocurrency investor is somebody who buys an asset and holds to that asset for a long time. It's not a short duration. It's a long time. For instance, somebody buys an asset and his target is that I am expecting to make profit on this asset in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So you give yourself a long period of time. That is an investor. There is no investment in which no business in which you get to invest and you start expecting to harvest the next day. No. On the other hand, you have those who refer to as spot traders. Those are people who invest on short-term basis. Like somebody buys an asset and is expecting to sell it out, on a very short duration or time frame, and he makes the profit that he can be able to make out of it. So that is the difference. Now, like I said before, out of 100% of those who are in the trading space, 95% always lose money to who? To 5%, because 5% plus 95 gives you this 100. But unfortunately, 95% transfer their assets always to 5%. Like the example I took before, I said, if you have 100 people in the market and each of these person has $1, meaning that we have a total of what? $100 in the market, which is owned by 100 persons. What is going to happen is that because of lack of knowledge, because of panic, because of fear, at some point, 95 out of these 100 persons will eventually sell their $1 to who? To these 5%. It means that $95 will leave the hands of 95% and get into the hands of 5% or 5%. So 5% will share $95 within themselves. How does it happen? When you come here, there are so many people who don't know how to interpret the movement of this. When I mute, there's somebody who keeps doing the unmute. I don't know who this person is. All right. So like I said before, when the price of the coin is moving upward, this is a time to sell for those who are bought. So by the time it gets to the summit and it has to start retracing, most people usually join the business out of the momentum that the coin has already created. The price of the coin is already too high. There are people who now run into the business because they have heard that the price is high, not knowing that they are coming at a time when the price has to start going downward. So by the time they buy this high and the price is going downward because of fear, because of panic, that something is going to happen to the system, what will happen? A majority of them, out of this fear and panic, they will take their assets and sell them very cheap. Who are they selling the assets to? Those who will be buying the assets from them represent just 5% of the total of 100% of the people who are in this market. So you have 95%, a majority of them, out of the panic, they will transfer all their assets to just 5% of the people. That's why you see that when a cryptocurrency is doing well, you have just 5% of those who constitute this community of people who are extremely very excited about the fact that they are making profit out of it. And you have a majority of those who join the cryptocurrency who are complaining. Why? Because they found themselves in this 95% who transferred all of their assets to this 5%. Because they don't know when to buy the asset, they don't know when to hold on to the asset or to hold a market position, and they don't know exactly when to sell. So that is where the problem is. If you hear of people telling you that they are losing money in cryptocurrencies, these are the reasons why they lose the money. Let nobody tell you anything different. This is the only reason. So if you don't know when to buy, when to hold a position in the market, and when to sell, you will always be in the community of those who are always complaining all the time. Now, I'm saying this to liken it to why so many people keep complaining that they have never harvested anything big ever since they joined PLC Ultima or PLCU Classic or PLCU X or whichever. This is the simple reason. Most people join PLCU or came and bought PLCU coins when the price was already at 100,000. Some even joined when it was at 100,000 plus. Some people joined at 90,000, 80,000, 70,000, and what have you. So they actually joined at the summit of it. And the coin kept retracing. It kept falling down in value. So what happened? These people, most of them are people who are not knowledgeable in the crypto space. They don't have sufficient knowledge in the crypto space. So because they saw the price of the coin dropping down, to them, they had a lot of mixed feelings. So they were now afraid. They were now gripped by panic. All their decisions became very, very irrational. They were not thinking straight in making most of those decisions, despite the fact that most of the leaders kept insisting on webinars, live sessions, through voice notes in WhatsApp groups, asking people not to sell their assets as yet, even though the price of the asset actually is going down. Nobody should sell. But because of the fear and panic, people were drawing conclusions. And what were they doing? They were taking their assets to the market. And because of that, they were not making any profits. That's why we kept advising people to hold on to their assets so that the asset can get to retrace and start moving upward again. Now, I know, excuse me, many people will still be asking questions. Are we sure that this asset shall rise again and so on? I'm going to show you techniques that cryptocurrency operators actually put in place to be able to help a certain asset to start moving upward again. There are several techniques, and you will see some of those techniques. I'm going to be showing them to you. So the most important thing I want everybody to understand is the fact that make sure you never find yourself in this 95% of people who are losing to who? To the 5%. Now, we have a particular company that has been able to give us the possibility to always find ourselves in the group of this 5%, means that we will never be in the losing end. This is the first cryptocurrency company that is coming up with this kind of a technique. I've never had this before, through what we call community coins. I don't need to start belaboring again the point on what happened that we started off with PLC, now we went to Plcu Classic, Plcux, and we have done so many videos, so many webinars doing this explanation. I don't want to focus again on that. If you still don't know the reason, there are so many recordings online on YouTube pages, you know, some of the leaders, they have them on their YouTube pages and so on. So you can actually go there, you play there, you have ample time to sit and you understand exactly the transition that took place from PLC to Plcu Classic right up to Plcux. I don't want to go doing that anymore. But the original objective was not for the company to be creating all of these coins. No, that was not the objective. There are certain things that happened that actually pushed the company to do, you know, all of this, that we had several community coins and so on. Anyway, I will be showing one of the strategies. That one will actually make you understand why we had to, you know, get into the creation of other coins. You will get to see that. Now, so the ideal thing is for somebody to buy an asset while the price is somewhere here below. What do you need to do later on? You can only trade off this asset when the price goes up. It means that you should always be selling at a higher amplitude, not at a lower amplitude. This is where you should sell, liquidate your digital assets here. But if you choose to do it here, look at this. The height of this one is below this. If you bought here and you are selling here, what do you think you are doing? If you calculate the difference is huge. And that difference means it is not in your favor. It means you are losing. But if you make the difference between this one and this position, the difference you are making means it is in your favor. That is what you should be able to do. Now, what did this company do? Why they dropped down in the price value of our community coins? Let me first of all tackle this one. It's extremely very, very important. Now, let me explain why we had these drop downs. Like the price actually went up, for instance, for PLCU and then PLCU Classic, then PLCU again and so on. Let me explain exactly why we are actually noticing these drops in the price values. It's very simple. Now, there are two categories of persons that actually contributed to bring down the price of these various coins. Now, these are the two categories of persons. Or just before I show you the two categories of persons, understand that in the cryptocurrency space, not just in the cryptocurrency space, anything which is sellable, anything that can be sold in the market, the price of it is determined by what? The demand for it divided by the supply for it. This is the only formula that determines the price of anything what's sellable in the world, whether in the crypto space or out of the crypto space. This is the only formula. So it's the demand with respect to the supply that determines the price. Meaning what? If the demand is very high with a dropping in the price, or rather in the supply, or with a constant supply, it means that the price of the product in question is going to go high. Or if the supply for the product is small compared to a fixed demand, the price is going to be high. Now, if you want to speed up the rate at which the price of the product is going to go up, then I make a reduction in the supply simultaneously with an increase in the demand. If I can do these two simultaneously, then the rate at which this price is going to go up also is going to be very high. So if you understand this, then you can now understand 100% why the price values of our coins actually went down. It's simple. These are the two categories of persons that contributed to make the price of our coin to go down. So on one hand, you have the company. Our company contributed to bring down the price of this coin. On the other hand, those of us who constitute the community of this particular company contributed to bring down the price of these coins or of these various coins. Now, the good thing, let me first of all begin by doing the analysis on the part of the company. How did they contribute to, to affect negatively the price of our community coins? The first thing, and one good thing, is the fact that this company from time to time keeps admitting to all of these mistakes that they made. They have never hidden them. They have always admitted that they contributed on one hand to bring down the price of the coin, because they also were trying certain, it's just like somebody who is trying to test the depth of, maybe a certain pool of water. You don't know how deep it is. So you have to make several trials until you get to understand how deep the water actually is. Now, the first thing, or the first way in which they contributed to bring down the price of the coin is through the payment of bonuses using community coins. Like those who started off with PLC, if you qualified for a rank, they were giving you rank bonuses in terms of what? In PLC. Same thing with PLCU. People were being paid rank bonuses using the community coins. What effect did that have? It comes back to this formula, which I just showed you. Now, what was the effect of that? If the company was actually paying people regularly, rank bonuses, or yes, rank bonuses, referral bonuses, and all the other bonuses, if they were actually paying them using the community coins, meaning that what? The company indirectly was trying to increase the supply. In fact, the company was actually increasing the supply, because each time they gave somebody a rank bonus in terms of the community coins, what was the person doing later on? The person was taking all of the coins to where? To the market, which means that we were actually doing what? Increasing the supply of the coins in the market. And if you make an increase in the supply of the coins in the market, as opposed to a fixed demand, or a demand which is growing at a very slow rate, what was happening to the price? The price definitely was coming down. The price definitely was coming down. So this is one aspect, or this is one way in which the company, without knowing, actually contributed to bring down the price of the asset. And the company severally has admitted to it. Now, secondly, the company was actually giving the community democratic powers in the market. How? Because the company, each time people were getting all of those coins, whether PLCU Classic, and the rest, what was happening? On CoinsBit, somebody who probably had, let's say, about 1,000 PLCUs, for instance, it's just an example I'm taking. I'm not saying that I know of somebody who had up to that quantity, but anybody who could have a huge quantity of coins, what was happening? The person just had the leeway to go to the market with the entire quantity of coins and just trading them off. Like there were no restrictions in the market. Like they could say, okay, in a day, you can only have the possibility to trade off maybe 1% or 2% of your coins. Anybody who had any quantity was just taking them to the market. And there came a time when almost everybody was running to the market with their community coins to do what? To click only on the sell button, not minding whether there were people readily available in the market to buy. So we got to a situation where there were more people selling the coins in the market as opposed to those who were buying, simply because our community coins did not make any provision for the dry and the rainy seasons. Dry and the rainy season simply means, for instance, if you are dealing with plantains, plantains are not always available throughout the seasons. There is a season when you have availability of plantain. There's a season when the plantains are not there. It means that it's a planting season. But for us, our community coins were given to us regularly because we're minting them from our minting units. It means that all the time. That is why if you have an asset which you are selling, if the asset does not have the rainy and the dry season for it, be rest assured that if you don't create a huge demand for that asset, you shall find yourself in the market, going through a situation whereby the asset is no longer selling for as high as it used to sell before. Because at some point, we will find the market saturated with the asset. That's exactly what happened. So since the company did not place any obstacles or limitations to the amount of coins that people were selling, it allowed people to have the possibility of taking all their coins to the market. And at some point, almost everybody was found in the market at the same time, selling off, their assets or their community coins for USDTs. Whereas the market does not print USDTs. If you are selling the market, it means that there's somebody who is willing to buy. And if there are fewer buyers, it therefore means that the assets that you want to sell can only sell for a price which is extremely very low. Now, the second one, or rather the third reason, or the third way in which the company contributed to bring down the price of this coin, is because they had a weak blockchain. The blockchain on which we are operating, which is a blockchain that was built using the Litecoin model, is a very weak blockchain. There are not many products that can be run on this blockchain. That's why for so many years now, because some people think that the smart blockchain we have now is something that was just created within a few months or in 1 year. No, the company had been working on it for several years, but they were not communicating on it because it's not an easy thing to come up with a smart blockchain. If it were that easy, then many other cryptocurrencies would have been having their own smart blockchains. So because of that, excuse me, let me come back to this particular formula here. So because of this situation which we have, it was very difficult for the company to create demand. Because for you to create demand so that the price of the coin can actually move forward means there are so many products that you can actually need to put in place that people will follow those products. Thank you. People will have to follow those products, you know, and because of those products, they will have to go out looking for the coins. For instance, if you come out with a certain product, for instance, you can tell people that, okay, you can buy houses, you can buy cars, and if you want to buy these houses and you get a discount up to maybe a particular percentage, then you need to be in possession of this particular coin. The company tried that through what? Through the cars program, through the housing program, through the cashback program, through several programs, you know, including several products. But all of those programs could not be sustainable. Why? Because those programs cannot operate effectively on the blockchain that we have. The present blockchain is too weak. It cannot carry these programs. That's why the company needed to do everything possible to fast track the coming into being of the smart blockchain, which we actually have today. That is why the company is now saying that, okay, we are now ready to do what? To do business, because we now have that smart blockchain, which we have been longing to have, which can actually permit us run all of these programs that will activate what? A huge demand for this coin. And this huge demand against a restricted supply of the coins in the market is going to lead to what? A price increase of the coin. So this is absolutely very important. So the price being equal to demand, once there is an increase in demand with a regulated supply, then what will happen? The price of the coin is going to go up. Like most of us will always find ourselves on this rising edge for the coin, because you will have more demand for the coin as a result of the fact that those products that have been built around this cryptocurrency to give it value can now be accessible by all. Okay, so that is it on the part of the company. And like I said, the company has always been admitting to this, that yes, we admit to the fact that we contributed to bring down the price of this cryptocurrency by doing what? By paying commissions, bonuses, and the other ones in terms of the community coins, which was not supposed to be like that. That's why they later stopped. That's why even right now, once a downline of yours buys a particular package, you can no longer be paid referral commissions using any of our community coins. It cannot longer be possible. Now, the giving of democratic powers, that's why we now have what we call a responsibility indicator in the product I'm going to be talking about shortly after this. Now, that's why they had to move from this present blockchain to what? To the smart blockchain. Now, on the other hand, let us see how those of us, members of the community of this cryptocurrency, contributed to bring down the price. Market saturation with coins, community members, and hackers. There are some people who became careless with their login details. Some people had their wallets hacked, and the hackers hacked all their coins and took them to where? To the market. Then many people were producing coins and taking them where? Directly to the market. So at some point, the market became too saturated with coins. It did what? It brought down the price value of the coin. That is the first point. The second one, the non-respect of the 5 golden rules in crypto. Most people were not respecting the 5 golden rules in crypto. And one of those rules stipulates that when you hold on to a digital asset, let it be in your keeping for at least a period of time between 2 to 5 years for you to actually get the worth of that cryptocurrency asset. That is what one of the clauses in the 5 golden rules actually stipulates. But nobody was ready to follow that. And the company allowed it. The company did not oblige people to follow this. And since the company failed to oblige people to follow the 5 golden rules, it contributed in collapsing the coin, the price of the coin. That's why Alex said, right now, he is taking the democratic powers from us. Right now, everybody must respect the 5 golden rules. Now, if you really want to make money, you must follow the 5 golden rules of cryptocurrency. Is for the good of everyone. It is not to deprive anybody from getting what he or she wants to get. Now, the third way, lack of the right knowledge. There are so many people who join so many members of our community who have the mentality of salary earners. Like you see somebody who joins a business, who, in fact, in the person's mind, he knows that every month I have to be catching out this amount in dollars, maybe $500. $500 at the end of January, $500 at the end of February, $500 at the end of March, April, $500, May, $500. It is impossible in the crypto space. You can never have that. If that is the mentality you have, please remove it. And I've just explained the reason why you shouldn't have that kind of a mentality. It's simple. This is it. Look at the graph we just explained, or I just talked about. If the coin is on this rising edge, it means that you are making more money. But if the coin is falling down, if it is in this falling region, how can you possibly be earning the same amount of money? It is not possible. Even in a conventional business, if you are somebody who owns a shop, do you make the same amount of profit every day? No, it is variable. That is the same thing that happens in the crypto space. So if you have that notion of a salary mentality, like month one, I have to get this amount, month two, I have to get the same amount, month three, I have to get the same amount, no, then you are actually doing the wrong thing. And since many people join the business having this mentality, that's why they were always ready to have problems with uplines, those who brought them inside. Why is it that I'm receiving something which is lesser than this? Why is it that you are telling me that I have to wait until this period before I'm able to do withdrawals? Why is it that? Why is it that? Why is it that? Simply because they did not have this background knowledge. And in as much as it is not only for PLC or PLCU or PLCUX, all cryptocurrencies, this what I'm explaining applies to all of them. But somebody who has this particular mentality, it doesn't matter. Any cryptocurrency that you join, you will always be finding fault with everybody because you don't have these basics. So this is absolutely very, very important for all of us to take note about. Now, since we actually face ourselves with this particular situation of our coins, our community coins going down in value, what then are the strategies that the company has been able to put in place to provoke new bullish trends? How are we able to reverse the trends, to move upward? Now, in cryptocurrencies, let me show you some of the techniques that cryptocurrency companies use to change the direction of the trends of their coins, like for them to move upward. Now, the first method, restrictions in the quantity of coins sold on the exchanges due to low liquidity. What does this mean? I don't know if everybody's seeing what I'm talking about. All right, you should be having access to that one. So the first thing, restrictions in the quantity of coins sold on the exchanges due to low liquidity, meaning that what? Every cryptocurrency company has to start looking for means. Once they discover that the price of the asset is going down, they have to start scaling down on the quantity of coins that each person can take to the exchange market to sell, so that the market does not continuously get saturated with so many coins. That is the first method. That's why Alex started replacing certain regulations or certain restrictions on exchanges like CoinsBit. He tried doing that with some other exchanges, but the exchanges were not willing to understand. There were some exchanges which actually out, their objective was to kill in fact, the prices of our community coins. They just wanted to kill this company. And an example of such an exchange is Bbox. That's why Alex had to delist, our community coins from Bbox. Same thing happened to some other exchanges. So if you found any other exchange from where our community coins were delisted from them, because many people were asking, how comes you list a coin on an exchange and then you delist? Many people did not understand why. That is the simple reason. Because you have some of those exchanges that can actually be very harmful to cryptocurrencies. That's what they call dirty politics in the crypto space. Some people might not actually understand the game which is going on, but an exchange can decide to sabotage your cryptocurrency and bring it down. That is what some exchanges were trying to do to Alex. When Alex tried to implement, the regulation in the quantity of coins that people could actually sell on those exchanges were not willing to comply. That's why people went to some exchanges and realized that the coin was actually trading them very, very cheap at a very low rate. You go to CoinsBit, it is trading very high. So there were disparities in the market. So he had to delete the coin from some of them. Now, the second method is through coin burning. When you start burning a certain quantity of the coins from existence, it means that you are reducing the supply. And once there's a reduction in the supply, like we already saw from the formula, the price of the asset is bound to go up. It might not happen in a day. It might not happen in 1 week. It might not happen in 1 month. It might not happen in 1 year. It might take quite some time, depending on the level of activities. Now, the third method is through what we call coin swapping, e.g., the swapping of our PLCU classic coins to PLCU. with a weak production or with a weak product infrastructure around it due to the present weak blockchain. Anyway, that is the situation that we actually face, you know, with this one, because most people who did the swapping of their coins, like some people usually see when they say, okay, you are swapping maybe Plcu classic coins to Plcu. This is. All right, sorry, it's from my end.
Hello.
Yes, I'm still on. I'm trying to arrange something here. I hope I'm still audible enough to everyone. Am I still audible enough?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a moment, please.
Loman Christie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, leader. Sorry, I was trying to arrange something in the office. All right, so like I was saying, sometimes when they tell the community that we have to swap a particular coin for another, people usually see it as if it's a problem. No, coin swapping is also a strategy that is used by cryptocurrency companies to reverse the trend of a coin. But those who are not really grounded in cryptocurrency usually see it as a problem. Now, when they say you are swapping a coin, you might actually swap a coin for a new coin. For instance, what we are about to do now with our community coins, we'll be swapping them for the smart coin, which is something I'm still going to talk about. Some people see it, they will keep asking questions as to why is it that they are bringing another coin? Why is it that we had this coin and now you are bringing this one, or we are now bringing this one? No, they see it as a problem. It is not a problem. Coin swapping is a strategy, but those who don't understand will always find problems with it. Now, the question is, people will be asking the question, okay, we did swapping of Plcu classic coin. At that time, it was at $20,000 for Plcu. Now it is at 1,000 and something. So how do we explain that? It's still simple. Because Alex did not put the restrictions again. That was the last opportunity that Alex gave to the community to say that, okay, since I've already explained this thing to you, you have understood why you must not be saturating the market with coins. Let me give you one more trial. We are going to do the swapping of Plcu classic coins now for Plcu. Let me see whether you have understood the lectures that I've been giving you by not saturating the market again with the Plcu coins. But what happened? We still went ahead to do what? Saturate the market again, and then the coin price came down to as low as the 1,000, which we are seeing now. That's why he has decided to say, okay, now I am taking off a democratic powers from you. Everything now will be at my level. I'm going to force everybody to pass through the 5 golden rules of cryptocurrency. Everybody, if you want to make money in this business, everybody must go through it, whether you like it or not. It's no longer a question of choice. That's why he needed to implement, you know, a new coin. He needed to bring into place a new coin, so much so that all the community coins that we had before now can now be swapped into that new coin. But the challenge he had is that he could not run that new coin on the present blockchain because our present blockchain is weak. It is not competitive in the market. It is a blockchain which is meant for starters, cryptocurrency companies that are still in the starting reign, like those who still want to make themselves relevant in the market. They start from that level. But if you want to go competitive in the market, you need to migrate to what? To a smart blockchain. That's why you have been working on the smart blockchain for so many years now. Now that the smart blockchain is there, he now says, okay, we are now going to be able to move everything that we have on the present blockchain into the new blockchain, because that is where we can actually do business. Because on the smart blockchain, we can actually start working more on the demand by doing what? By running the cash program, running the housing program, Platin G, Platin Hero, the cashback system, the PLC Travel Club, and all the other products, which I'm still going to talk about. We can be able to run all of these ones on the smart blockchain, which is something we could not do on the present blockchain. But now, those who have the community coin, PLC, PLCU, PLCU Classic, PLCU X, all of them, these coins are still present where? On the present blockchain, which we have, which is very weak. There is nothing you can do using any of these community coins on this present blockchain. For us to be able to make good use of these present community coins, we have to move them, we have to transfer them from this present blockchain to where? To the new blockchain. How do you do the transfer to the new blockchain? Through a swapping process. So that swapping is more or less like a bridge. This is it. This is how it looks like. This is exactly how the bridge looks like. So this is the present blockchain that was built using the Litecoin model. And on it, we have the community coin, notably PLC, PLCU, PLCU Classic, and PLCUX. We need to transfer all of these community coins from this present blockchain to where? To this new blockchain, which is here. And how do you do that? You can only transfer PLC, PLCU, PLCU Classic to this blockchain by doing what? By swapping. Because PLC, you cannot find on the smart blockchain, you find a coin there which is called PLC or PLCU or PLCU Classic or PLCUX. No, it can only exist in terms of the currency of this blockchain, which is what? The smart coin. So they are giving us a possibility to swap all of these community coins into this native coin of our smart blockchain. Now I'm going to show you exactly how advantageous these smart coins are going to be for us. I'm saying this particularly to those who have PLC coins, PLCU, PLCU Classic, and they keep thinking that maybe their coins have become useless because they are still looking at the price in the market. If you are somebody who is still going to the exchange and selling of these coins, sorry for you, because you don't know exactly the mistake that you are making. We have been delaying all this while because we're waiting for the smart blockchain. It is here. This is when the real business begins. Don't make any mistake selling your PLC, PLCU, PLCU Classic, or PLCUX again in the market. Don't do it unless you absolutely know what you are doing. If you really know what you are doing and you are ready to go with, you know, the losses attached to it, okay, fine, you can go ahead and do it the way you want. Without which, the ideal thing is to swap your community coins for what? For the smart coin. Now, people will be asking the question, how advantageous is a smart coin? Now, what use will I be making of the smart coin? It's simple. Let me show you. So, like I said before, the community needs to convert all of these community coins, transfer all of them to what? To the mother coin, which is the smart coin. And that swapping is going to begin very, very soon. The swapping is going to start very, very, very soon. Now, the question we'll be asking ourselves is, what are the advantages of the smart coin in the first place? Because it's not just sufficient for you to be happy that, oh, we are going to swap for the smart coin. What is the advantage of the smart coin? You need to know that. And that's what I want to explain to you now. Now, what are the advantages of the smart coin? These are the advantages.
If you bring the start with the young,
please, leader Daniel, please just make sure you don't unmute yourself again. Just stay muted, please. Unmute yourself again. Okay, so like I was saying, what are the advantages of the smart coin? When you have the smart coin, the first advantage is the fact that it is going to serve as the gas fee on our smart blockchain. When we talk of the gas fee, what does it mean? Look out, for those of you who are conversant with you know, decentralized exchanges like let me say for those of you who normally buy tokens on the Trust Wallet, or rather on the PancakeSwap, you know, decentralized exchange like PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and so on. Most of those tokens, when you buy them, by the time you want to sell them off, you will require what we call a gas fee. And usually the gas fee is often paid using what? Using Ether, the cryptocurrency of Ethereum, or we call it Ethereum if you want. You have to pay the gas fee using Ethereum. That is the cryptocurrency that belongs to the Ethereum blockchain. That is the same thing that is going to happen to us. So all the transactions that will be taking place on our smart blockchain, for any single transaction to go through, it must require what? A gas fee. And the gas fee can only be paid using the native coin of this particular smart blockchain, which is what? The smart coin. Everything. There are so many products that are going to be run on our blockchain. That's the first advantage anyway, the first thing for you to retain. Know that our smart coin will be used as the gas fee principally on our smart blockchain for all transactions.